Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TC Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the Living Legend state, kind of talk about, what events we have coming up, how many Living Legend points we have from now until basically the Pro Tour, and then also what heroes do we think are going to Living Legend in that time span and why, because we're going to have a huge shakeup in the next 3 months overall. So I kind of want to talk about and get your thoughts on it as well. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below, channel membership. If you want to support the channel a different way, it's greatly appreciated but not required. And then also check out the creator sheet. So I made this just because, I was hanging out, day off, a little bored. Wanted to see, how many Living Legend points do we have upcoming in the next few months, because we're in an interesting spot. And actually, before we'll switch up the order here. Before we look at all the points and stuff, the next 3 months are pretty they're pretty set in stone. Not a whole lot is going to change from a meta perspective and from a just overall game shakeup perspective. We have the Armory deck coming out in March, which we already know is Aurora. We just had the Hunted release in January. But from now until the end of April, the only change we have is one more Armory deck, and that's going to come out, sometime in that last month of April, right? We have nothing happening in February. March, we already know it's going to happen, and I personally don't think the Aurora deck is going to change a whole lot. I could be wrong, but it might bump up one hero, but it's not going to be meta shaping. And then we have the Armory deck in April. And then the Pro Tour is at the end of April, right? So from now until April, we basically just have one more Armory deck. No sets, no Mastery packs since that got delayed. The next set doesn't release until June, right during National season, which I know is contentious for a lot of people right now for obvious reasons. And then we have the Mastery pack, which isn't getting put out now until August, when it was originally going to come out. I think it was March or something. So not a whole lot is changing from now until April. So all that being said, we have a bunch of heroes, and I'll show them in a second. They're on the cusp of Living Legend. I mean, we literally have technically, even ones that aren't getting a lot of points right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 within 300 points of Living Legend. We have, 1 within 100, 3 within 200, so on and so forth. So between now and April, we actually have a lot of Living Legend points up for grabs, because they changed the RTN and PQ settings to where now, if you remember this update article we had, I think I have it up here. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit. I don't have it up anymore. Oh, yeah, I do. They changed it to where ProQuest, Road, Nationals, and Skirmish all just straight up award 1,500 Living Legend points. And it's by win percentage. So my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is 1,500 points, 10% is 150. So if a certain hero wins 10% of events, they get 150 Living Legend points. So all I have to say, in the month of February, we've already had a few events, as you can see. Calling Memphis was won by Syndra. Battle Memphis won by Prism. Battle Bangkok was won by Enigma. And Battle PQ Plus, or the PQ Plus Bangkok was won by Azalea. And in the rest of April, or not April, February, we have Calling Christchurch, Valheim Barcelona, Valheim Portland, and then RTN season, which will award 1,500 points. This is really important because literally just in February alone, 1,700 Living Legend points are being awarded, and we've only awarded 105 so far. So we still have literally 1,600 more Living Legend points to go. That's a lot. In March, we have only 275 Living Legend points because we don't have a competitive RTN or PQ season, but we do have a lot of events. And in April, just before the Pro Tour, we have another 55 Living Legend points, so we don't get this PQ season. So before the Pro Tour London starts, we have 1,900 Living Legend points to give out. A large portion of those are in this month of February, but still a lot. From now until the end of April, we have 3,700 Living Legend points going out. That is a lot of Living Legend points for a format that's getting technically no new heroes, unless April gives us a good Armory deck. No new heroes between now and then. That means all 3,700 points are going to go to current heroes. So what does that mean for Living Legend? Well, there's two kind of lines in the sand. There's what can we expect to see before the Pro Tour? What can we expect to see gone during our TN season? And then what can we expect to be gone basically before the next set drops in June? So I think it's pretty safe to say in RTN season alone, Zen will go for sure. I mean, Zen only has to win 8% of RTNs. And if you look at like RTN, like previous, I save ones that I do. So like RTN season in 2023, the top deck in a pretty balanced format, which was back then with Dromai, KO, Kano, Victor, all them, was around 11%. The RTN season with a more top-heavy, or PQ season with a more top-heavy format, I know it's off the screen a little bit. Sorry, I apologize. Let's see if I can fix it. There it goes. Enigma and Aurora were the top decks in 2024 PQ season at like 16%. So a meta-defining deck, you're looking at like, 15%, which would be about 225 Living Legend points. I think it's safe to say that Zen and Viserai both are going to be hovering around that 15% margin. They might end up, being around 13%, which would still be almost 200 Living Legend points. So I think Zen and Viserai definitely go for sure. The interesting one is Azalea. If Azalea wins 10%, which I don't think she will, I think she'll be around 5%-ish. That's around 75 points, so she doesn't quite get there. I think that the only other heroes you'll see go during RTN season potentially are, I think it's really, Enigma has a shot, but she would have to win literally 20%, and she's not going to do that. She'll get close. I think Zen and Viserai will definitely go to an RTN season, which most people are expecting. I think Azalea will be close. You might see her around the 900 mark, maybe a little bit less. I think Phi might get some good wins and be in like the mid 800s to low 800s. Enigma, I think, will get around 10%, which would be 150 points. You might see her in the mid to 800s. I don't think Dash gets there in RTN season, sadly. I don't think enough players are going to play the hero. I could be wrong, though. And then New, I think, will jump up a pretty good amount and go to like 700. So at the end of RTN season, we could see Enigma like 8 to 850. These two are gone. This Azalea is like in the high 800s. New is like in the 700 plus category. KO probably gets in the 750. So then we'll have all these heroes that are, also in the like cusp of it. And then you have all of these down here. So before the Pro Tour, with 1,900 points before, I think the only like definites are Zen and Viserai. I think there is a world where Enigma is very, very close, and I think it could go either way. I think Enigma could get Living Legend right before Pro Tour. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, because once Zen and Viserai go, Enigma, barring some crazy change, is just going to be a Grim Reaper of the format, because Syndra is going to get countered by Assassins, and Assassins are going to be prominent, and Enigma does pretty well into most all the rest of the field. Like, her bad matchups kind of go away in Zen and Viserai. And so I think once these two go, like, week 1, week 2 of RTN season, I think Enigma starts to pick up steam heavily, and I could see those three all gone before the Pro Tour. Now you have a ton of Living Legend points right after the Pro Tour and during the Pro Tour. So you have 1,500 from PQ season and then another one of these. So, 1,600, basically almost 1,800 points after the Pro Tour. And that last half of April, in the last 2 weeks of April, we will get 1,500 or 1,600 and some Living Legend points. I think by that point, Phi is gone. I think Azalea leaves by that point. Azalea will also be a pretty good pick, too, in the upcoming formats. I think KO is close. I think New will be close. So basically, and I think Dash might get there. I could see, honestly, Dash being under 1,000 for a while, but we'll have to see. But basically, all I have to say, by the end of April, I think Zen will be gone. I think Viserai will be gone. I think Azalea has a good chance of being gone. Phi will be close. I think Enigma will be gone. And I think a New will be close. So we'll have anywhere from 4 at a minimum to potentially on like a high end, because we're going to have 3,700 Living Legend points. I think this hero, potentially Phi. I don't think Bravo's going to get there. Enigma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. So you can have anywhere from 4 to 8 heroes Living Legend before the end of April. That is an insane shakeup. Even if we have the low number, which is just Zen, Viserai, Enigma, and one of these heroes, maybe Azalea, that's a huge shakeup. Like, that's a big deal. And I'm really excited to see kind of how that changes the meta, because unless April has an insane armory deck that just completely changes things, maybe they re-release Jeremiah, maybe, or something like that, you're going to see a huge shakeup in the meta. And I think this is going to be one of the most pivotal like set of time in Flesh and Blood's history. I don't think we've ever had a meta shift without a new set as much as we will with this next 3 months, because you could potentially, on a crazy way, see all 3 Mistveil heroes go alongside a long-staying heroes in Viserai and Azalea, and just have a completely different looking game by the end of April. And then, we have oops, wrong one. That's where I got it from. I got it from the Star City Games article. And then we're going to have the set drop in June. So we're going to have all these heroes living legend between April and May. We're going to get 2 armory decks, and we're going to have a new set in June. The game is going to look so much different in 5 months than it does right now. It's actually insane. So I just want to get y'all's thoughts on it. Like I said, we have 3,700 living legend points up for grabs from now until the end of April. And we have 1,900 living legend points up for grabs between now and PT London. So I think Zen and Viserai are definites. I think they're gone. I think Enigma is going to be kind of like how Dromai was going into Worlds, where it's like, I think it was Dromai. It might have been Dromai or Briar, where like they were like, no one knew if they were. Oh, it was Icelander. It was Icelander, I'm pretty sure. Where people were like, are we going to be able to play this hero or not? Like, is it going to hit Living Legend or not? So I think she'll be on the cusp. But we'll have to see. But yeah, at any rate, I'm super excited to see how this format changes. I would love your thoughts on it as well. Just a cool discussion point. We've never had like this much change or potential for change in the game's history from a meta perspective without a new set dropping. So really excited for that. But yeah, let me know what y'all's thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff. Go to that Google Sheet down below. Go find someone else. Watch their content. Be really, really cool. Yeah, and I'll see y'all next time on TC Talk. Thank you.